Hiya! Today's video is going to be focused on things you can do off the ice that can help to improve your balance when you're on the ice. This is aimed to be quite a simple video, so aimed probably more at those of you that are still quite new and still finding your feet and perhaps wondering what you can do to familiarise yourself with stability and the essence of balance. Okay, however, that said, for those of you higher up, balance is extremely important in skating and always something to work on, and there will be ways to challenge yourself and make it harder, which those that are higher up can still apply. So the first thing about balance is it comes from posture. Okay, it comes from core control, stability, core stability, which gives you that posture. So first things first, let's just centre ourselves, ribs in, hips under. You can't really see it because of the top I've got on, but I am trying to get a nice strong straight back. Okay, and it's like a corset around the waist. I talk about this quite a lot. Posture comes first. I'm going to ground myself between my 2 feet, so we're just getting used to the centre of our balance, and you just want to feel very steady. Test it, shut your eyes. Can you find out where you are? You can even bend your knees, touch your knees, bend down, touch toes with the eyes shut, feel yourself, so you're nice and central over your feet. Really quick little balance test there. Okay, next thing, test that out on one foot. Can you get balance? Again, same basic posture. I just turn sideways, centre my foot, as if you're on the centre of the blade. Good balance, and then you can even from there touch knees with the eyes shut. I should point that out, so I can touch my knees and my toes, my eyes open, and then I can try it, and it's much harder with eyes shut. Okay, which would be a much more advanced version. Closing your eyes immediately affects your balance, because we use our eyes to help us, and we use our sight to help give us a focus point. So when our eyes are open, the balance is nice and easy. You can even go down, obviously, there you go, I went off a little bit as I went lower. Go down, touch the feet. Okay, you can see as I lower, it makes it a lot more difficult. You can see my knee moving, but I can still do it. The moment I shut my eyes, the balance is a lot trickier. And you can see, so a good way to test it out, and that's one for all levels. We can do this in a turned out position, so we're replicating skating. We do a few pliés, and then relevés, which are dance terms, ballet terms, that basically means a bend, keeping the core strong, and a rise to the demi-point, to the ball of our foot. So if you can hold that, you can also try this position in neutral, with the toes forward, so it can be turned out, where it would be for skating, and neutral, and wrap on that demi-point, and hold it strong and see if we can stay there. You can try this on one foot. So we can go either turns in, neutral, or the same on the other foot, or we can do the same in a turned out position, which is like a kipe. It's passe, just means a little bit higher, or retire. Passe is a passing through, retire, it's just that holds it really good. But in that turned out position, which is kind of relevant to skating, and we're holding that. You see, oh, I lost it. Okay, so actually a good balance test. This isn't, so actually this is for all levels, which has been a really good little training tool for about £10 on Amazon, I think, is one of these. It's a wobble board. It's got a slightly curved domed base, flat board, and we use it to test, to practice. So everything I've just done there, it's actually quite difficult to do it on 2 feet, but you can, obviously it wobbles and you can really feel your weight change. You hold the core the same, nice and steady, over the centre of the board. You have to find the right surface for that, turn out, all these things. You can even do the bending down on the board, touching the toe, coming up, touch of the toe, and even the shut and the eyes on the board. And seeing how that feels. Okay, really good because you can really feel all the little microscopic movements of your body and the weight changes when the eyes are shut that you can adjust to. It's a really good little balance and practice technique. It's just a piece of kit that is absolutely worthwhile in having. That's not good. Okay, just checking my notes. Next thing, so I've done a few basic balance positions. Now something that is super strengthening is your core. Okay, so I said that balance comes from core stability, and core stability is posture. So there are some very simple exercises that you can do. I will at some point do a video that's got a whole core workout, but this is just a few that are specific. So, again, I've really not got very tough one. First things first, we're going to go onto all fours into a tabletop position. We're going to give ourselves a nice straight back. Our shoulders are over our wrists and knees are under our hips. Okay, and all we're going to do is lift the opposite side. So if I come forward, we're off the floor, we're keeping a nice level. So pulling up, nice step back and holding that balance there. The core's engaged and my tummy is pulled in. And hold it nice and strong. I can feel the glute working. The aim is to keep the centre nice and still. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and then change. And engage the core, pull up through the belly, nice and strong. This is a nice simple version. If that's quite simple for you, easy for you, come to a plank, engage the core, just rest in that position, get comfortable there. You should really feel the abdominals pull up. Okay, you'll find this is a little bit more strenuous on the arms. And then we're going to do the same, we're going to lift up one leg and lift up the opposite arm. And this is a lot harder, you want to try to keep the shoulders nice and straight and level. And this is a lot more difficult, a lot more challenging. And hold. Try to engage the front of the quads as well. So it's actually something to focus on and stay strong. So this is working your core, but whilst also testing your balance. You get a lot of stuff over there. Now stretch it out. And of course there are other things like side plank. So pulling up, engaging the obliques down here, lift up and bring the leg up behind. We'll just practice it initially, just stacking the feet and holding, and then we can start to move the foot back into a balance there. And we can try the same on the side. Hold these for a bit longer to work your core, but I'm just running through fairly quickly because it's quite good to do. So I stack my feet on top of each other, lift up, hold strong, and then I can move back. Arch back and test it and hold this tummy as strong as possible. Next one, we're going to sit up, okay, and we're going to lift our legs in front of us and just open them out, pull them on the body tool and engage the core, stay nice and strong and balanced. So again, it's working our tummy muscles, working our core and working our balance at the same time. So it's a strength and balance test. Quads are engaged, pulling up, nice and steady. And hold. Similar type thing. Come down onto a bit lower. You're going to keep the feet off the floor and you're just going to sit back and hold as low as you can and hold it without actually putting the legs down on the floor. You'll start to feel yourself shaky, that's fine. Keep breathing with it, engage the core. Nice and steady, and hold that boat pose. So the core's really working, it's quite a workout. You can start to twist side to side to change the weight but keep the tummy still, or even kick the toes or flick them sort of over, but keep this nice and steady and still. You can flex and point to practice, just turn around, to practice pointing our toes, but keep them balanced through the back and the tummy, the abdominals and the muscles in the back engaged. You can get in and out, keeping it nice and steady and strong. So our balance is at work as well. The next one, we have a little bit of play now. We're going to do a shoulder stand. So for now, keep the hands on the floor, we lie back. We're going to lift up, not too quick, roll up and see if we can straighten the legs as much as possible. Okay, with the arms in, tummy muscles and back muscles engaged. We can test. Oh, I've kicked. I've kicked the furniture, I'll just move slightly forward. We can test there. And then if you're feeling really strong, as an advanced version, we can, only when you're really secure, you can actually take the hands away from the floor so you are entirely balanced on your shoulders, but you should be nice and comfortable. Similar play. Hands flat on the floor, tabletop, put the top of the head on the floor, crown the head, move the elbows in towards the knees, or the wrists in towards the knees. Push up so your weight's over the head, walk the toes in, and then balance. Lift your knees onto the tops of your arms, engage the core there, and get the balance. So we're now doing a headstand, and we're going to find the little movement there. So it's strengthening your wrists as well, when it's testing. And to that point. So these are little balance and strength exercises. My next one, I think. Yes. Oh, one more on the floor. Reverse tabletop. So we go onto all fours but with our belly in the air. Lift up to a nice flat back, engage the core. And we can lift one leg off and hold that. Keep your eyes on something stationary and still, that will help. And we can flex and point, and then if you want to do it with a lift, you can really feel the core engage as well. Times flex and point, point. Good. Okay, next one, some spirals or some aeroplane postures, whatever you call them from yoga, or spirals in skating. Aeroplane posture tends to have a flex foot. We go to the back, choose something still to look at, extend the leg back, flex foot for aeroplane posture, the arms are behind us, or if we want to make it more skatery, and good practice, we can turn that foot out, look at something still, and go up to a nice spiral pose. We can then even test through to dancer pose, or basically a catch foot spiral in skating, catch the hand with the foot and kick it up behind us, stay focused on something nice and still, and we can even move it across carefully to the other side, see if you can control that weight change to test your balance there. Same thing with the foot. You can start in like an aeroplane posture, that flexed foot. Really ground yourself through the centre of the foot. And then or we can go straight to a spiral and turn out, it looks nicer. I always like a pointed toe. The spiral keeps looking at something still. Hold it and then bring it in. Catch it. Reach, and of course I wobbled there. Everyone does wobble from time to time. So, recenter myself. Balance. Hold it. Catch it nice and strong. Take it across. It's okay. Staying still and focused on that nice and coming. We can try, not necessarily a full spiral, but like an extension on demi point on releve. Again, so we're enhancing that. And this is ankle strengthening by being on demi point. Lifting using the muscles in the bottom to lift up. And of course all these things, these positions can be practiced on the balance board. Okay, engaging the core, it would help if I move the centre of the board. So I can push up and try my spiral on there. Catch foot spiral. Also things like Y stand on the balance board. And teapots. You can move through these. These are more advanced ones. So I said this was a beginner video, but actually it's started off as a beginner video and has developed. But these are all positions you can practice. Show you near the foot. So nice and central. Again, using nice still to practice your balance on. Regain it if you start to wobble. See if you can rescue yourself. Push it up to the dance pose and across into waist down and into your opposite catch foot, and then up into waist stand, forward into waist stand even, kind of thing. And of course you can practice that demi point as well on the balance board. So you go up, quite tricky. This is a much more advanced version. Make sure you're stable, both on the floor flat, then on the balance board flat, and then on the floor on demi point. Really focusing on keeping the weight nice and central. Okay, so a more advanced development. So actually I've said this is for all levels. Not just. And then finally, we can do some rond de jambes. So I'm just going to leave them out there. A rond de jambe is a round movement. It's from dance or ballet. You can do it on the floor just to hold your core nice and steady and practice being over the supporting foot, which is where where your balance is. And then we can do it at varying heights. So we can do it off the floor. And if you can, try it at 90 degrees. And you can do it in reverse as well. And back. Holding the core strong. And to centre, other foot. I'm doing it on a straight leg. You can round it on a bent leg, but for the sake of this balance exercise, we'll do it straight, weight over the supporting foot, and higher, and round. Nice and strong. And of course, complicate it, bring it to the balance board. Of course, the balance board in itself is just, that's like a rondo from the side rumba, like that. The balance board itself is, you can really play with and try different positions on. The key thing is the core's engaged, that our weight's over our supporting foot, that we're nice and central. Then you can really test the positions. You can do your basic skating positions, which is my next point. So that was a like backspin position or a mid-air position. Hold it on the balance board, keep it strong. Obviously start off on the floor, flat on the floor, and just practice it. Practice it with your eyes closed, and then bring it onto the board. Again, with the eyes, see if you can do it with your eyes shut. And out to your skating line. Practice some normal skating lines, eyes open. So, and do these as like with a knee action. So your basic skating line in like the kipe, and then out to a push line, to a cross line. Practice them on the floor first, and then bring them to the balance board if you have one, so that you're learning to really control these very basic positions. Rotation position for people going, turning over their right shoulder. Okay, and same thing. As I said, start on the floor, go through them, even move between them smoothly. Practice there, or practice them individually, and then step it to the board, wait for the centre, nice and strong, 45 degrees out with the hip as per usual, following along that same line, cross under. We'll practice it coming in and crossing under, reaching, keeping the tummy as still as possible, see if you can control the weight forward. Weight on the board, which I just didn't. Okay, pump out position, and cross line, and back out. And oh, yeah, the other thing is, if you don't have a balance board, you can just do this. Apart from running sinks 3. In theory, a pumped up enough cushion, maybe 2, should work. That's a bit better. Okay, it's not as good, but it can keep me going until you can buy one. You can get some that are more pumped up than that. So that is a little a little balance tutorial with some strength exercises and some basic exercises in there that you can play with. Alright everyone, I hope that's been useful. What I plan to do in future is, as well, I'm going to continue with some skating specific moves that we can strengthen and stretch our thighs. I'm actually going to do a few big flexibility tutorials on certain things that I know people are interested in. So, excellent. Anyway, bye bye everyone, well done.